You may.
Got it. All right. Hello, my name's Mitchell Fundingsland, and I am an IT subject expert. And today this is the Project A on OS and networking. So I was hired by eCorp to upgrade their IT systems. For this company, they had a limited budget. And for this budget, they had no physical space. And so for this, they couldn't add any other physical hard drives, physical servers, anything like that. They really wanted to minimize their costs. And so what I did was try to help find an alternative. And so what I did was found virtual machines that I could be able to install for the network. I installed a firewall, CEOPC, Webserver, DNS Server, and 3 different Kali Linux machines, all through VirtualBox. And for this network, I helped configure the IP addresses and verified system connectability. And once I tested this connectability, I just made it sure to verify that the trusted network was secure from the untrusted network. I then sent my completed machines along with their configurations to eCorp. As you can see here, this is the network diagram. And so we have a 3-legged firewall. And so for this, we have 3 different interfaces. The first one is the untrusted network, as you can see in the red. And this is directly connected to the public internet. And the second part of the interface is the DMZ. And so this holds the web server, DNS server, and the DMZ Kali Linux. And this acts as a perimeter network to help protect this internal network, which is the green network. And this green network is the trusted network. So this will hold the CEOPC and the trusted Kali Linux. And so the first thing I had to do was install VirtualBox along with its installations. And so what I did was, as you can see to the left, downloaded the latest version of VirtualBox. And with this, used VirtualBox to download these individual machines. As you can see here, the CEOPC, DNS server, router or firewall, web server, and the 3 different Kali machines. And so for these different machines, you can make sure that each one had the correct network. As you can see, the CEOPC is connected to the trusted network, internal network, and make sure that different displays and different operating systems are correct. And so one of the first things I discovered was that the Kali machines and the CEOPC were not connected to the network. And so they were not able to access any specific files or things that they would need to connect to. And so as you can see here for the CEOPC, I had to configure the IP to automatic DHCP and using the DHCP protocol. And so as you can see to the left, this is the protocol, and to the right, we have the latest OS version with the IP address. And so the CEOPC along with the trusted Kali both use the DHCP protocol. And so as long as the DHCP protocol was used to connect the trusted network, if the DMZ and untrusted did not use the DHCP, that would mean that basically the traffic would be stopped and those different devices, especially on an untrusted network, would not be able to connect. And so as you can see for the Kali machines, we have on the top left the DMZ with the manual IP configuration. We have the address, netmask, gateway, and then we also have the untrusted network with the different IP configurations with its manual IP configuration and netmask and gateway. And as you can see at the bottom, we have the trusted network, which along with the CEOPC used the DHCP protocol. And what I also discovered within this network is that the CEOPC couldn't access the company site or FTP, file transfer protocol. And so what I did was made sure that the FTP protocol was able to be used and download documents correctly, and then also made sure that I was able to access the correct website. So as you can see to the left, this was the website being able to be accessed. And to the right, we have the file transfer protocol, which has the correct documents to download and shows that the transfer is complete at the bottom. And as you can see with me being hired as a subject expert to try to help establish a network and establish it to make sure it's secure, I tried to make sure if the FTP traffic was able to be captured with Wireshark. So as you can see to the left in the screenshot, you have the CEO using File Transfer Protocol, and to the right, I used the DMZ Kali Linux to open up Wireshark and try to capture different packets. And as you can see with this next slide is that the username request command user was able to be accessed as Jasper. And so any bad actors or malicious people could access with the right tools with Wireshark the username that was used in the file transfer protocol, along with the password. As you can see to the right, it shows password too hard to guess. And if you go even further, you're able to go into the TCP stream and analyze the stream of which way it's going and access the entire file transfer protocol document. And as you can see here, the social media policy is able to be downloaded in clear text. And also what I discovered within these networks is just the OS and IP configurations of the different servers and what ports are able to be open in the DNS and web server. And as you can see here, we have the DNS server to the left, and you have the different OS version and IP configuration. And then at the bottom right, you have the OS and IP address of the web server. And we want to just make sure that we know the different IP addresses and OS versions, so we are able to communicate with one another and ping with one another. So we had to make sure for this network we were able to access all that information. And so for open ports, I used Nmap. And so with Nmap, I was able to find different ports that were open within the web servers. And as you can see to the left, the DNS server had two different ports open, the SSH and domain, the port 22 and 53. And on the right, you can see the web server that had multiple ports open, and one of them being that FTP port, where I was able to use Wireshark to capture information. And so one of the last things for being an expert in helping to establish a network and make sure it's secure is I made sure that I verified the trusted network was protected from the untrusted before I sent it back to eCorp. And so what I did was I did a basic ping. And so I pinged the IP address of the untrusted and was able to ping there directly. As you can see that no packets are lost. And on the right, we have the untrusted network trying to ping to that CEO PC IP address. And as you can see, it's not able to ping, showing that it is secure from the untrusted network, the CEO PC. And so for one of the closing remarks, I would say is that eCorp employees need to learn how to properly install these virtual machines along with their extensions. And so for that, just making sure that they're connected to the correct networks, whether it's the DMZ or an internal network. And one note was that the file transfer protocol was unsecure and could be intercepted by potential bad actors. And so another thing would be to make sure that the passwords are updated and harder to get. As you can see that some of them, such as too hard to guess or just having a password, could be a potential problem. And I would say to update systems and security to make sure that everything is close and up to date. So one of the recommendations that I would have is instead of FTP is to use the FTPS, which is a more secure file transfer protocol. And this would actually encrypt the data being transferred. And so if a potential bad actor is trying to access this information, it would all be encrypted. And so as you can see, you wouldn't be able to access that full amount of data in plain text. And One of the other things is just to make sure that passwords are harder to guess and to update more frequently. So something as such as alphanumeric combinations, maybe with numbers or different symbols, would make it harder, and especially updating on a specific basis so that potential people would not easily guess them and would be a good update for security. And the last thing would be to train employees about hardening the security and the security baseline. And so for the security baseline, just making sure that they know the normal activity. So if there's a fluctuation or I would say irregularity in the network, you'd be able to spot that and notice, hey, this is a little irregular or wrong. Maybe there's somebody trying to access information or doing something malicious. And so understanding what's normal and right would really help this with security and securing the baseline. That's it.
Very good. Nice presentation, Mitchell. Would you mind showing me a demonstration in your network?
Sure. So right now I have all my PCs running. So let me see. Whoops. Okay, so I have my CEO PC here right now. And I'm going to open up the terminal. And then I have the untrusted network. And I'm opening up this terminal. Okay, and then so for this CEO PC, I am going to ping the untrusted PC 172.30. Wait, whoops. 172.30.0.4. And as you can see, that is able to ping my untrusted network. And so for the untrusted trying to ping my trusted network, I have the IP set to, let me see, 192.168.0.15. And so as I try to ping that, it's not able to ping. And so it shows the 0 packet loss. And then, oh yeah, and then the website. So then the website. Okay, so I will access the seclab.net. And it says, congratulations, you're viewing this page because you've correctly installed it. Journey has just begun.
Very good, Mitchell. By being able to open up that web page, you showed that you connected everything to the network properly and all the addresses are configured properly. And you also proved that the trusted network is protected from the untrusted network by the firewall. Great job, my friend.
Thank you.